Earth had always been silent in the great halls of the Galactic Council. For centuries, other species argued, bargained, and shouted in alien tongues, while the humans only listened. They were the youngest among the stars, fragile compared to the giants of the galaxy, but patient, always patient. That silence broke on a day no one expected. The council chamber was a structure bigger than cities, orbiting a red dwarf star. Its walls shimmered with light from thousands of different suns, each representing a member world. Beings of every shape filled the seats, scaled warriors, floating mines of energy, insect colonies that spoke with one voice. At the center, the speaker of the council, a towering avian elder, raised his wings and called for order. But the human delegation did not wait. Their ambassador, a calm man with silver hair, stood slowly. His voice carried without effort, reaching every corner of the chamber. "Earth," he said, "withdraws from the council." The words fell like a blade. The room froze. Hundreds of alien eyes blinked, hissed, and glared. Some laughed, thinking it a joke. Others whispered in sudden fear. The speaker lowered his wings, feathers bristling. "Withdraw. Impossible. No species has ever left the council. Humanity cannot break the bonds of the accord. You will bring chaos to the stars." The ambassador only shook his head. "Chaos already exists. We have watched. We have listened. And now, we walk away." Gasps filled the chamber. One reptilian lord hissed loudly. "You dare insult the unity of the galaxy? Humans are nothing without us. You gained the stars only because of our guidance." The ambassador's face was calm, almost sad. "We did not ask for guidance. We learned by bleeding, by fighting, by struggling. We have buried our dead on every frontier. We owe no one." A heavy silence settled. Then, another human, a young officer in uniform, placed a small device on the central table. With a press of his finger, a hologram rose. Images of wars, of famines, of pirate raids where human colonies were abandoned without help. The footage showed burning ships, screaming civilians, children pulled from wreckage. Where was the council when our worlds cried for aid? The officer's voice shook with anger. Where was this so-called unity when our fleets begged for support? You left us alone. So now, we choose to be alone. Murmurs grew into shouts. Some aliens banged their appendages on the tables, demanding explanation. Others looked uneasy, their voices hushed. The council was not used to being challenged. Humanity had always been quiet, obedient, grateful. This was different. This was rebellion. The speaker struck the ground with his staff, a booming sound echoing. "If Earth walks away, it will not be welcomed again. You will lose protection. You will lose trade. You will face the galaxy's dangers alone." The human ambassador met his gaze. His eyes were cold now, sharp as steel. "Then so be it. Earth will stand." And with that, the humans turned and left the chamber. They did not argue further. They did not look back. The doors sealed behind them, leaving the chamber in uproar. Some species laughed, calling humans fools who would be crushed within a decade. Others felt unease, whispering about humanity's rapid growth, their strange resilience, their endless drive to expand. In the outer halls, the human delegation walked in silence. The young officer whispered, "Do you think we did the right thing?" The ambassador looked out a vast window, watching the stars burn beyond the station. His lips curled into a thin smile. "We did not come here to ask for permission. We came to give a warning." And far away, on the edges of human space, fleets were already moving. Colonies were uniting. Old weapons were being awakened. Humanity had chosen its path. The galaxy simply did not understand yet. But it would. Very soon. The council chamber remained in chaos long after the humans walked out. Angry voices rose, echoing against the vast walls. Some species demanded punishment. Others warned against rash action. For the first time in centuries, unity in the council cracked. The Speaker of the Council tried to restore order. His wings spread wide, his voice thundered. Silence! The humans are reckless. Their departure will harm no one but themselves. Let them burn in their pride. But not all were convinced. A tall, insectoid delegate clicked its mandibles nervously. Speaker, we should not underestimate them. Humans are young, yes, but they grow too fast. Too fast. Their colonies spread like wildfire. Their fleets double in size every decade. A scaled warlord slammed his claw against the table. Nonsense. They are weak mammals. We carried them into the stars. Alone, they will collapse. Another voice rose, a shadowy being from a species of pure energy. Its glowing form pulsed with unease. You forget, perhaps, how they survived the Auric War. When the Auric devoured half their colonies, humans did not beg. They fought. And they won. Even we could not defeat the Auric. The chamber grew silent at that reminder. Everyone remembered. The Auric had been a nightmare, giant hive beasts that consumed worlds. Entire fleets had fallen before them. Yet, somehow, the fragile humans had pushed them back. No one understood how. The council had assumed it was luck. But was it? Whispers spread. Doubt spread. The speaker struck his staff again. Enough. Humans are nothing without us. They will return, begging for aid, once the galaxy turns against them. Let them go. But in the shadows of the chamber, alliances were already shifting. Some species began to wonder if humanity's gamble might succeed. Others began to plan how to crush them before they became a true threat. Far away, in human space, things were already moving. On Mars, shipyards glowed under the crimson sky. Thousands of workers labored day and night, welding steel, constructing hulls of new warships. Carriers larger than any in human history slowly took shape. Factories on Earth roared with activity, producing weapons and supplies. In the asteroid belt, hidden stations activated. Old prototypes, long kept secret from the Council, were tested again. Ships armed with weapons the galaxy had banned. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the carrier Resolute. Her eyes were sharp, her uniform immaculate. Around her, screens displayed fleet movements, resource shipments, and coded messages. She spoke quietly to her second-in-command. The Council thinks we are weak. Let them. They have no idea how far we've come. The officer nodded. Do you think they will attack us? Reyes's gaze hardened. Of course. Pride will not let them ignore us. But we will be ready. Meanwhile, across the stars, alien spies reported these movements. Fleets gathering. Colonies uniting. Weapons appearing in secret. The news spread like wildfire among the council races. Some species panicked. Others sharpened their claws. On the war world of Kroth, generals of the reptilian lords gathered. Their leader hissed, baring rows of teeth. Humans dare walk away? Then we will teach them fear. Our fleets will strike before they grow too strong. On the crystal world of Elera, the energy beings spoke in silent pulses. They were not as eager for war. Humans are dangerous. We must watch them. If they survive without the Council, others may follow. The Council may fall apart. On the insect hive world, the queen shivered in her nest. Her countless eyes glowed. The humans, they smell of change. Dangerous change. Perhaps, they are the future. While the galaxy debated, humans prepared. In the deep dark of space, a lone scout ship drifted silently. It was a human vessel, stripped of insignia, running without lights. Inside, a small crew watched alien traffic, recording every movement, every whisper of Council fleets. The captain, a young woman named Arya, adjusted her headset. Report. 3 fleets massing near Council space, her officer replied. Heavy warships. Looks like they're moving toward our colonies. Arya's jaw tightened. Send word back. The storm is coming. And so it began. The Council's pride could not accept Earth's defiance. The humans' pride would not let them return. The galaxy was on the edge of something no one had seen in thousands of years. Not diplomacy. Not trade. But war. And this time, humanity would not fight for survival. This time, humanity would fight to prove a point. The first strike did not come from humans. It came from the Council. In the darkness beyond the colony world of Kepler-92, space twisted as 3 alien fleets emerged from faster-than-light travel. Warships of the reptilian lords led the way, their hulls jagged and sharp like predators. Behind them came cruisers of other races, allies who had promised to discipline humanity for their arrogance. On the colony below, people looked up at the night sky. Tiny flashes of light appeared, like stars being born. Then alarms screamed across the settlements. Everyone understood. War had come. Governor Lee of Kepler-92 stood at the command center, his voice steady despite the chaos. Get every civilian underground. Activate planetary shields. Call the fleet. The alien commander, a scaled warlord named Zeroth, watched from his flagship as the human colony braced itself. His fangs gleamed. Weak creatures, he hissed. They will break quickly. But when his fleet advanced, something unexpected happened. Human ships appeared. Dozens at first. Then hundreds. Not the small, fragile corvettes the Council remembered, but larger, stronger, faster vessels. Carriers launched swarms of fighters, sleek and deadly. Frigates moved in perfect formation, covering each other with overlapping fire. At the center, the massive carrier Resolute arrived, its hull glowing with power. Admiral Reyes stood on its bridge, her eyes locked on the enemy. They wanted a war, she said quietly. We'll show them what it means to fight humans. The battle began. Alien cruisers opened fire, beams of plasma tearing through the void. Human shields flared, cracked, but held. Human destroyers answered, missiles streaking across the stars. Explosions lit the blackness. Entire ships shattered into fire. The Council fleet expected panic. Instead, they met precision. Humans fought like no species had seen before. They adapted instantly. When a formation was broken, they reformed. When a ship was lost, its data was transmitted, lessons shared in seconds. Zeroth growled as his fleet began to take heavy losses. Impossible. They were never this strong. Admiral Reyes gave the order. Activate the black arrows. From the Resolute, a new kind of fighter launched, sleek, silent, invisible to most sensors. They cut through the Council fleet like blades, striking engines, reactors, command decks. Alien ships spun helplessly before vanishing in fire. The reptilian warlord realized too late. Humans had hidden their true power for years. They had built weapons in secret, waiting for the moment they would no longer need the Council. The battle was brutal. For every human ship destroyed, 2 alien ships fell. When it was over, the void around Kepler-92 was littered with wreckage. The Council fleet had been shattered. On the bridge of his damaged flagship, Zeroth hissed in rage. This is not possible. They are only mammals. They should not. His words ended as his ship split apart, consumed in flames. The human colonies cheered. Across the stars, news spread like wildfire. Humanity had not only survived the Council's first strike, they had crushed it. But Admiral Reyes did not celebrate. Her eyes were cold. This is only the beginning. They will send more. Stronger fleets. We must be ready. Back in the Council chamber, panic erupted. Reports of the battle reached the delegates. Species that had mocked humanity now sat in silence. The insectoid queen clicked nervously. The energy beings pulsed in alarm. One delegate whispered, "They destroyed 3 fleets." 3. How is this possible? The speaker tried to remain calm, but his feathers trembled. Then we must unite. All fleets. All species. If we do not crush humanity now, they will rise beyond control. But beneath the surface, fear spread. If humans could defeat such a force so quickly, what else were they hiding? Some species began to question their loyalty to the Council. Some began to wonder if humanity might actually be the stronger side. Far from politics, on Earth itself, the people watched the broadcasts of Kepler-92. Cities erupted with pride. Factories doubled their work. Young men and women lined up to join the fleet. Humanity was no longer just defending, it was awakening. In a quiet chamber on Earth, the ambassador who had walked away from the Council sat in silence. He watched the news of victory, his expression unreadable. A younger officer entered. "Sir, the galaxy knows now. They fear us." The ambassador finally spoke, his voice heavy. "Good. Let them fear. But remember this, we are not fighting for pride. We are fighting because we were left alone. Never forget that." Outside, the stars burned bright. The war had only begun. And across the galaxy, old powers trembled, for the humans had shown their teeth. And they were only getting started. The Council could not ignore the disaster at Kepler-92. 3 fleets, gone. One of their strongest warlords, dead. Humanity, the youngest race of the stars, had turned humiliation into triumph. Panic spread like fire through the Council worlds. Civilian populations demanded protection. Traders whispered that human warships now patrolled the trade routes. Some even claimed that human fleets appeared and vanished without warning, like predators hunting in the dark. The Speaker of the Council gathered the surviving leaders. His feathers were dull now, his voice strained, but still commanding. "We underestimated them. No more mistakes. Every species must contribute. We will gather the largest fleet in galactic history. Humanity will not survive our wrath." Across the galaxy, ships were summoned. Massive cruisers from the Elera. Hive carriers from the insectoid swarms. Juggernauts from the reptilian lords. Even reluctant allies were forced to obey. Piece by piece, the greatest armada ever built began to form. But the Council was not only preparing warships. In secret, scientists revived forbidden weapons. Planet crackers. Bioplagues. Machines designed to strip a world's atmosphere in hours. Humanity's defiance had pushed them to desperation. Meanwhile, in human space, preparations never stopped. On Earth, factories roared day and night. On Luna, massive orbital rings were built, launching ships faster than ever before. Colonies worked together like never before, no longer divided by politics or distance. Humanity had become one people, united by the threat of extinction. Admiral Reyes stood in the war room aboard the Resolute. Holograms of enemy fleets glowed before her, each marked with red. Reports arrived every hour, alien fleets gathering, weapons moving, spies caught. Her officers waited for her command. Finally, she spoke. "The Council thinks numbers will save them. They believe we are still the weak race they once guided. They do not understand. We learned from them. We learned from all of them. And now we will use that knowledge against them." One officer frowned. "But, Admiral, their fleet is too large. Even with our new ships, we can't meet them head-on." Reyes's eyes glinted. "We won't. That's why we built the Titan." The room fell silent. The Titan was a legend whispered among human crews. Few had seen it. Fewer believed it was real. A secret project buried deep in the asteroid belt, hidden even from most of the fleet. The Admiral turned the hologram. A new shape appeared, massive, towering, a ship larger than any in known space. Not just a battleship, not just a carrier. Something beyond classification. It stretched 5 kilometers in length, bristling with weapons. Its armor was layered with rare metals stolen quietly from Council stockpiles. Its core burned with a reactor design no alien had ever seen. It was not only a warship. It was a declaration. "The Titan," the officer whispered. "If this is true, Then humanity has created a weapon greater than the Council itself. Reyes's lips curved in a thin smile. Exactly. While the Council gathered fleets, humanity prepared its trap. Scouts mapped enemy movements. Colonies built decoys to lure attacks. Spy networks spread misinformation, convincing the Council that Earth's fleets were weaker than they appeared. Every move was careful, deliberate. But time was running out. In Council space, the massive fleet finally assembled. Thousands of ships. A swarm so large it darkened the stars. The speaker stood before them, broadcasting across the galaxy. Humanity defied us. Humanity humiliated us. Now, they will pay the price. We will erase their colonies, their fleets, their very homeworld. The galaxy will remember this lesson. No one walks away from the Council. The crowd of species roared approval. But far away, hidden beyond the orbit of Neptune, the Titan stirred. Its engines lit, casting shadows across the dark ice. Thousands of human ships gathered around it, awaiting orders. On the bridge of the Titan, Admiral Reyes stepped forward. The floor trembled under her boots as the giant vessel powered up. Her voice was calm, steady, carrying across every ship in the fleet. The Council believes they are hunting us. They think we are prey. They do not understand that they have already walked into the jaws of the wolf. Today, we do not defend. Today, we strike. The Titan moved, slow but unstoppable, a mountain drifting through space. Fleets followed in silence, like predators stalking their kill. And so, two armadas, the greatest in history, began their approach. The galaxy held its breath. The Council wanted to prove humanity could not stand alone. Humanity wanted to prove it never needed anyone at all. When they met, stars themselves would burn. The void between stars grew heavy with silence, as if the galaxy itself waited. On one side, the Council armada stretched across space, thousands of ships, enough firepower to erase entire sectors. On the other side, humanity's fleet moved into formation, smaller in number, but steady, disciplined. At the center, like a giant among wolves, loomed the Titan. Its shadow swallowed entire destroyers. Its engines burned with light brighter than moons. For the Council, it was the first time seeing the secret humanity had hidden. From his flagship, the Speaker of the Council trembled with rage and fear. What is that thing? Advisors spoke nervously. A supership. Impossible. No species could build such a thing without our knowledge. But the Titan was real. And it was awake. On its bridge, Admiral Reyes stood calm, her hands clasped behind her back. Around her, officers worked in silence, every face pale but determined. Before them, holograms showed the enemy fleet closing in, wave after wave of alien ships. Reyes spoke softly, but her words carried through every human channel. We fight not for pride, but for survival. Today, the galaxy learns what it means when humanity refuses to kneel. Hold the line. Follow the plan. And remember, every star is watching. The order was given. The first shots cut through the void, blinding beams of plasma from Council warships. Shields flared around human vessels. Some shattered instantly, torn apart. Fire blossomed across the black. But the humans struck back. Swarms of fighters launched, weaving through the chaos. Missiles burned like falling stars. Alien frigates exploded, one after another, their wreckage scattering like ash. Then, the Titan opened fire. Its main cannon activated, a weapon larger than most warships. Energy built along its spine, a roar that shook space itself. When it fired, the beam tore across the battlefield, cutting through 3 Council battleships as if they were paper. The explosion lit the darkness like a newborn sun. Every species watching across the galaxy gasped in disbelief. The Titan fired again. And again. Each shot ripped holes in the armada, sending fleets into panic. The speaker screamed orders. All ships. Focus fire on the giant. Bring it down before it destroys us all. Thousands of Council ships turned their guns on the Titan. Plasma storms. missile waves, gravity weapons. The sky itself seemed to collapse on the great ship. The Titan shook. Shields burned bright, then flickered. Armor cracked. Explosions tore along its flanks. Inside, alarms screamed, crews rushing to repair breaches. Men and women died by the hundreds holding the behemoth together. Yet it did not fall. Reyes gripped the rail, her voice iron. Forward. We don't break. The Titan pushed through the storm, its guns blazing. Human fleets darted around it, striking at council ships distracted by the giant. Precision, coordination, sacrifice, every move was exact. Humanity bled, but it fought like no other species could. In the chaos, smaller human ships activated a hidden weapon. Stealth systems lit up, revealing cloaked destroyers that had been waiting for this moment. They slipped through the lines, striking at the Council's command ships. One by one, alien flagships vanished in fire. Confusion spread through the Council ranks. Orders broke down. Some fleets fought. Others hesitated. Some even fled. The unity of the galaxy shattered under the weight of fear. The Speaker's flagship trembled as explosions tore through its escort. He screeched in fury. No. This cannot be. They are only one world. One world. But one world had become something greater. The Titan's main cannon charged one final time. The beam split the void, tearing straight through the Speaker's flagship. The ship cracked, burned, and then exploded into nothingness. Silence fell. The Council armada wavered. Without leadership, without faith, it broke. Thousands of ships fled, scattering across the stars. Humanity had not only survived the largest fleet in history, they had destroyed it. On the Titan's bridge, Admiral Reyes stood in the smoke and chaos. Her uniform was torn, her face streaked with blood, but her eyes were steady. "Signal the colonies," she said quietly. "We held. The Council is broken." Across human space, cheers rose. Billions celebrated. Humanity, the youngest race, had stood alone against the galaxy, and won. But Reyes did not smile. She looked out the window at the wreckage, the drifting corpses of ships, the burning scars across her fleet. Her voice was grim. "This is not the end. The Council will crawl back. They will plot. They will come again. But after today, they will never look at us the same. We are no longer the children of the stars. We are their equals. Or their enemies." The Titan drifted forward, scarred but alive, its shadow stretching over the battlefield. The galaxy would never forget what it had seen. And somewhere, deep in the darkness, whispers spread. If humanity could defeat the Council, perhaps, it could rule the stars. The smoke of war had not yet faded, but the galaxy was already changing. The Council's greatest armada was gone, shattered by a species once dismissed as weak. Wreckage drifted in the void, silent reminders of the day humanity broke the chains of the Council. The victory was absolute, but the consequences had only begun. On Earth, celebrations roared. Cities erupted with fireworks. Colonies lit their skies in honor of the fleet. Songs and banners declared humanity's triumph. For the first time, billions felt they were not small in the galaxy. They were powerful, feared, respected. But in the Titan's war room, Admiral Reyes and her commanders were not celebrating. The holograms around them glowed with reports from across the stars. Colonel Vega read aloud, his voice sharp. "The reptilian lords are retreating to their homeworlds, gathering survivors. The insect hives are split, half want to fight us again, half want to join us. The Elera, the energy beings, they sent no fleets to the battle, but now they're broadcasting messages. They want talks." Reyes listened in silence. Finally, she spoke. "The Council is not dead. Only broken. That makes them more dangerous than before." The young officer Arya, who had once commanded a scout ship, frowned. "But, Admiral, they saw what we can do. They won't dare fight again, not soon." Reyes's eyes hardened. "Fear makes enemies reckless. Some will bow, yes. But others will stop at nothing to destroy us before we grow stronger. And she was right. In hidden chambers across the galaxy, the defeated plotted revenge. On the reptilian throne world, the surviving warlords gathered. Xerotha's death had shaken them, but their pride burned hotter than ever. One hissed with rage. We underestimated the mammals. Never again. If we cannot crush them in open war, we will burn their colonies from the shadows. On the crystal planet of Elera, however, things were different. The glowing elders spoke in pulses of light. The humans are dangerous, yes, but perhaps they are also hope. They fought alone, without the Council's corruption. If they survived, maybe others can too. Perhaps it is time to shift allegiance. And in the insect hive world, the great queen whispered to her brood, her thousands of eyes glittering. The humans smell of strength. If they rise, we rise with them. The old order is broken. A new one may be born. The galaxy was dividing. Back on Earth, the ambassador who had once declared humanity's withdrawal from the Council sat before the United Earth Assembly. Leaders of every colony, every fleet, every nation gathered in one chamber. For the first time in history, humanity truly acted as one. The ambassador's voice was calm, heavy with meaning. We stand at a crossroads. We have proven ourselves strong. The galaxy trembles. Now we must decide, do we seek peace? Or do we seize power? The chamber erupted with voices. Some shouted for peace. We fought to defend ourselves, not to conquer. We must rebuild, not destroy. Others demanded more. The Council left us to die. They will never forgive us. We must strike first, before they recover. Humanity must rule, or be ruled. The debate grew fierce. Admiral Reyes listened in silence. She knew both sides were right. Humanity needed peace. But humanity also needed to prepare, because peace would not last. Later, alone on the Titan's bridge, she stared at the stars. The wreckage of the Council fleet still floated nearby, glowing faintly against the void. She whispered to herself, we wanted freedom. But freedom always has a price. At that same moment, deep in the shadows of Council space, an old secret was awakening. The Council had lost fleets, lost pride, but they had not yet used their deadliest weapon. In hidden vaults, machines long banned by galactic law were stirring. Planet killers. AI fleets without conscience. Weapons that did not stop until worlds were dust. The speaker's successor, a cold and ruthless leader, gave the order. If humanity refuses to kneel, then humanity will burn. They think themselves wolves? Then we will bring the fire of extinction. The galaxy's future trembled. Some species moved toward Earth, seeking alliance. Others sharpened their blades in silence. Humanity, once ignored, was now the center of everything. Every eye in the galaxy watched, waiting for the next move. On the Titan, Reyes received the latest intelligence. Her officers looked to her, anxious. Admiral, one said, reports confirm it. The Council is building something. Something far worse than the fleets we already faced. Reyes's face darkened. She turned toward the stars, her voice steady, but cold as steel. Then we prepare. Because the next war will decide not just humanity's survival. It will decide who rules the galaxy itself. The stars burned silently, as if listening. The storm was not over. It was only gathering strength. The galaxy trembled as the Council unleashed its last weapon. It was not a fleet. It was not an army. It was something far older, buried in forbidden vaults for millennia. The Eclipse. A machine the size of a moon, built by a forgotten race, long before the Council was born. It was not alive, but it was not dead. It was hunger, given form. Its core consumed stars themselves. Wherever it traveled, light faded, planets froze, and life ended. The speaker's successor broadcast across the galaxy, his voice cold and proud. Humanity will not rule. Humanity will not even exist. The eclipse will erase their worlds, and with them, the memory of their defiance. When news reached Earth, panic spread. Colonies begged for help. Fleets scrambled to prepare. The Titan and its armada became the last wall between survival and extinction. On the Titan's bridge, Admiral Reyes faced the hologram of the weapon. Even she, who had seen countless battles, felt her chest tighten. "If this machine reaches Earth," she said, "it is over. Everything we fought for, gone." Colonel Vega slammed his fist on the console. "Then we destroy it before it reaches us." "But how?" Arya whispered. "It eats energy. Every shot, every beam, will only make it stronger." The room fell silent. Reyes finally spoke. "Then we don't fight it with weapons. We fight it with everything else." The fleet moved. Human ships spread across the system, laying traps, pulling debris into position, using planets and moons as shields. The Titan led, its scarred hull gleaming in the light of Sol. Humanity had never been more united. Every soldier, every pilot, every engineer knew this was the final stand. The eclipse arrived. It emerged from the dark like a shadow that swallowed the stars. Its surface glowed with alien runes, its core burning with stolen light. It moved slowly, but unstoppable, like death itself. The battle began. Human fleets launched wave after wave, swarming the machine. Fighters darted across its surface, planting charges. Battleships fired massive cannons, aiming at cracks in its armor. Explosions lit the void, but the eclipse only absorbed the energy, growing brighter, stronger. On the Titan, alarms screamed. Shields failing. Hull breaches on Deck 6. Reyes stood firm. "Hold the line. Draw it closer." The eclipse turned its core toward the Titan. Energy built, a growing storm of destruction. One shot, and the Titan would be gone. Reyes made her choice. "All ships, focus fire on the eclipse's stabilizers. Force it to open its core. Titan, prepare the spear." The crew froze. The spear was the Titan's most dangerous weapon, never tested. A concentrated burst from its reactor, not a cannon, not a missile. Pure energy ripped from the ship's heart. If it worked, it could pierce anything. If it failed, the Titan would tear itself apart. Colonel Vega's voice shook. "Admiral, if we fire the spear, the Titan may not survive." Reyes's eyes never left the enemy. "If we don't, Earth will not survive. Prepare to fire." Human fleets obeyed. Fighters sacrificed themselves, crashing into the eclipse's stabilizers. Destroyers rammed its shields, opening cracks. Piece by piece, the monster faltered. Its core opened wider, burning with stolen suns. "Now!" Reyes shouted. The Titan's spine glowed, brighter and brighter, until the whole ship trembled. The spear fired. A single beam of white-hot energy tore through the void. It struck the eclipse's core. For one breathless moment, nothing happened. Then the machine screamed. Not with sound, but with light. Its surface cracked, shattering into rivers of fire. The stolen energy inside it surged outward, unstoppable. "Brace for impact!" Reyes shouted. The eclipse exploded. A shockwave ripped across the system, brighter than any sun. Ships were thrown aside like toys. The Titan shook violently, hull tearing, alarms wailing. For a moment, it seemed the giant would not survive. Then silence. The eclipse was gone. Only fragments remained, drifting like ash across the stars. Human fleets limped in the aftermath, broken but alive. Half their ships were gone. Entire crews lost. But Earth still stood. Humanity still lived. On the Titan's bridge, smoke filled the air. Officers staggered to their feet. Reyes stood at the center, her uniform torn, her voice hoarse. "Status." Arya checked her console, tears in her eyes. "The eclipse, destroyed. Earth is safe." The bridge fell quiet. Then, slowly, exhausted cheers broke out. Humanity had done the impossible, again. But Reyes did not cheer. She looked out at the wreckage, at the countless ships that would never return home. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. We won. But the price. Still, across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humanity had faced the greatest weapon the Council could unleash, and survived. The Council's fleets were broken, their pride shattered. Species once loyal to them now looked to Earth, wondering if humanity might lead where the old order had failed. The humans had walked away from the Council. And in doing so, they had not only saved themselves. They had changed the galaxy forever. For the first time, the stars did not see humanity as weak, or fragile, or new. They saw them as what they had always been. Survivors. Fighters. Wolves among the stars. And this was only the beginning.